Welcome to the Comic Book Report on Exit 92 Radio. That's right, everybody. Welcome to the Comic Book Report with the Big Bad Boo Bear. Now, I know it's been a minute since I've done a comic book report, but let me explain before I get into the comic book report itself. I had a site, because I'm not the richest guy in the world. I had a site where I did all of my comic book reading and everything like that. And unfortunately, it went down in the past few months, so I haven't been able to read anything. I've searched and finally, after all this time, I was able to find another one. And I know I haven't gotten to Darth Vader, which I'm going to try to. I'm looking for it now. There's a lot of comics on this new website that I found. I haven't got to finish Darth Vader. It will happen, I promise. But right now, I'm reviewing something else I started reading because I've always wanted to check this out. So this is the comic book report for Injustice, Gods Among Us, years 1 through 3. But I'm going to let this song play out, and kind of give some people a chance to tune in live with the Big Bad Boo Bear tonight. So keep it locked in live with the Big Bad Boo Bear for at least, we're only going to be on for like 15-20 minutes. But just long enough to give you a full review on years 1 through 3 of Injustice, Gods Among Us, which I will give you a kind of a spoiler. It is awesome. Anyways, we'll be back in just a few minutes. We're going to let the song play out, and we're going to go back live. That's right, we got one more track coming up for you. M51 from Eric Miley. We're going to keep it live here on Exit 92 Radio with the Big Bad Boo Bear's Comic Book Report. This last track coming up, and then we're going to let it fade out and get into some reviewing here on Exit 92 Radio. We are live. Back here live on Exit 92 Radio with the big bad bear. It's 32 minutes past the hour. It's 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you've got it locked in here for the comic book report with the big bad bear. So, let's get right down to the point. We're talking about Injustice, Gods Among Us. Now, I'll give you a quick backstory. So, Injustice, Gods Among Us started out as a video game. That's right, you heard me correctly, a video game put together by your favorite game designers, the Mortal Kombat team. Yeah, the people who are behind Fatality. Those people, they put together this game with the help of Warner Brothers and, you know, all that, the DC Universe sponsors and everything like that. They put it together, and they came up with Injustice, Gods Among Us, which is basically a glorified fighting game. So I actually borrowed it from a friend, DJ Hans, matter of fact. I actually borrowed the game from him. He didn't know anything about it. You know, he just thought it was cool. So I borrowed it and played it, and I liked the gameplay, and it was good, but I really loved the cutscenes. It's a really interesting story, one that I had never seen as far as DCU is concerned, and it wasn't like one they had done. It was just something they came up specifically for the video game. So time goes on, you know, and I told you my comic book website went down, and I looked around, and when I was looking for Darth Vader, I stumbled upon Injustice Among Us. So it's a video game, and I looked it up, and it's actually a comic book series as well. They made the comic book series because the game was so popular. And it is insane. So, in the video game, you know, the video game takes place after all the events of the comic book series. So I'm not really going to spoil it. If you don't want to play the video game, all you got to do is get on YouTube and look up Injustice, Gods Among Us. Cutscenes, Xbox 360 or whatever, you can actually watch it. Just the cutscenes from beginning to finish. And it'll fill the story in for you, you know. And it's actually, like I said, it's a really cool, it's an interesting story, but I'll give you the story up to that. So basically, this whole thing takes place in an alternative universe. This is the comic book I'm talking about, not the video game. I mean, the video game does too, but we're talking about the comic book now. This whole thing takes place in an alternative universe. If you haven't watched the video game or played it, then you're not going to know. But if you have, then yeah, you already have this prior knowledge. And basically, Superman is doing well. Like, things are normal, you know, at this point. You know, they're still bad guys. It isn't, you know, peaceful or anything, but it's not necessarily the most terrible time, at least at the moment. So, it starts out like any other day. Superman gets up. Lois Lane gets up to go take care of some stuff. And she actually ends up at the docks. And she gets kidnapped by the Joker. The Joker takes her to a submarine. Now, Lois Lane is pregnant with Clark and her child. They're also married. Takes her to a submarine. Clark finds out, and obviously he's not, you know, not very fucking happy. So he goes out looking for him. He finds him in the submarine, and he finds Joker operating on her. Before Superman could do anything, Joker releases just enough kryptonite in a dust form mixed with fear toxin from the Scarecrow. And it puts Superman into not only a weakened state, but a delusional state, to where he believes that Lois Lane, the pregnant woman laying on the operating table, is Doomsday. And so, in his stupor, he goes after Doomsday, beats the hell out of Doomsday, at least he thinks so, and pummels him, you know, pummels Lois to death, and then flies up into space, and she freezes to death in space. Well, during all of this, you know, he doesn't realize this until Batman shows up on the scene with Diana, which is Wonder Woman, and realizes what's going on. He calls him on the communicator and finally gets touched with him. He's like, you know, you're not seeing Doomsday, you know, or you're seeing Doomsday, but it's Lois. You're hurting Lois. Yeah, Jay. Lois is a whore. Good to see you out there, Jay. Thanks for tuning in. No, So Lois, of course, dies in space, and he realizes what he's done. Another bit to this, while they're on Earth, the Joker points out in, his most eloquent terms, that her heartbeat was connected to a trigger that was connected to a nuclear bomb in the center of Metropolis. So when her heart stopped beating, the bomb went off. They couldn't save the day. They weren't just in time. The bomb goes off, kills millions, destroys Metropolis. Now, the Flash is able to go through all of Metropolis and get as many people as he can throughout the city out of the fallout zone. He can't save everyone. He gets maybe, I think they said like 1,500 after 4 or 5 trips. 4 or 5 trips, just going. Grabbing like 8, 9, 10, 20, 30 people at a time. And Superman comes back down to Earth with Lois swaddled in his cape, and of course he's upset. Batman has taken the Joker to the Gotham. He's actually went back to Gotham with him and took him to the police headquarters there, because the police headquarters in Metropolis is destroyed, obviously. So after a little bit, Superman heads to Gotham. Now this is the pinnacle point for the first year, the first few books. This is the point that really changes and makes you realize that you obviously are not in a universe, the same universe you're used to reading about and used to watching on TV. Superman shows up to Gotham, and he puts his hand through the Joker's chest and pulls his heart out. And the Joker's dead. No, this is not a, the Joker died. No, he's dead. You do not see him again. Well, you do, but you don't. This universe's Joker is dead. 100. He pulls his fucking heart out through his stomach. So, of course, Batman gets upset. He's like, he shouldn't have killed him. And then Superman blames Bruce for this, saying he should have killed him years ago. And, that's not the way we do things. It's the argument back and forth. And, Supes just he walks out. He murdered a man, and he walks out, and there's nobody to stop him. Fucking Jay. Oh, man, I can imagine you writing a comic book. That would be interesting. So, basically, this leads Superman into this tyrannical leadership over the Justice League, and not only Justice League but the world. He sees this as a sign that he needs to use his powers for 100% good. Now he's always used them for good. He's always been Superman. He's been the good guy, but now he believes that he should go throughout the entire world, rid the world of guns and war, poverty. He sees a report on the TV while he's at home mourning the loss of his wife and child. And I think it's Palestine and Israel, and they're fighting. And so he heads to Palestine and Israel, and he tells them stop fighting, and he grabs their tanks and he throws them into the sea, and actually hurts innocents. Or hurts innocents. I say innocents, they were soldiers in the process. No, Jay, I don't believe I've seen your post on my... Is it the Star Wars animated thing? Because if it was, that was pretty badass. I really thought that was fucking cool. But no, anyways, back to the story here. And this starts from here. He goes on to do this to the entire world. He basically holds the world hostage. If people don't listen, he makes them listen by destroying their property, by destroying... Yeah. That was awesome, Jay. But yeah, he destroys tanks. He topples empires, and takes tyrannical presidents and governments and leaves them to their own peasants and dogs. And he thinks it's good and it's not good. I mean, he's not letting the world solve things by itself, which is what he's always been taught. And really, the message of the whole series has been he'll interfere when things need him, when he's needed. But this isn't a situation these situations like this are situations that the humans have to sort on their own. So, not only does he believe this, but the Justice League stands with him except for Batman. Batman and a few other random heroes all, separate themselves from the Justice League, and they're like, hey, we can't be a part of this, and you shouldn't be doing this either. If you keep going, we're going to have to take you down. And they damn sure try. I'm telling you, this comic book has been action-packed from beginning to end. And it's really, when you read it, if you go to read it, and I really suggest, if you're a DC fan and you haven't read it yet, and I'm very late, but if you haven't read this comic book, you really should. It's really good. I mean, we'll talk about Superman for a minute. From the very beginning of the comic book to where I am, which is year 3, I'm only halfway through it. I haven't finished it yet, so I really don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I do because I play the video game, but the fill-in, everything that's going to happen in between then and now, I don't know. But years 1 through 3, there's so many heroes that make appearances. And what's insane is that there's so many that have died. Superman has killed Ollie, the Green Arrow. Superman has killed the Black Canary. They killed the Huntress. Let's see. There's so many others that have passed, in this series that have been killed. The death count. See, it's insane. I think that the artists and the writers really enjoy doing alternative universe pieces because of that freedom they get. They can kill all these superheroes off and they'll be fine because they'll be in next week's issue, because next week's issue is going to be set in the regular universe. So, I think they really enjoy doing these alternative universe pieces. But yeah, man, I mean, so many superheroes have made appearances and so many have died. I mean, Superman has just been on a rant. The entire Green Lantern Corps, the Guardians included, has been destroyed by Superman and the Justice League. Sinestro has joined the Justice League. Yeah, fucking Sinestro. He's talked Batman into talked Superman into actually wearing the yellow ring for a while. Superman was a Yellow Lantern. Oh, Walking Dead is Jason said, DC sucks. Talk about Walking Dead. I'm not talking about Walking Dead. Walking Dead is interesting, but it's not as good as DC. My opinion, at least. But no, yeah, it's been a great series from the start. Alfred is a total fucking badass. He, at one point, this is well into the battle between Superman and Batman. And Superman finally goes to the Batcave to confront Bruce. They've been playing mind games and kind of, in a way, shooting pawns at each other as far as chessboard is concerned. But he finally confronts Batman, as Batman is trying to analyze the super pill, which will, in small bursts after they are able to synthesize it and make it widespread, will give him the power of Superman, excluding like laser vision and fire and flying, but mostly just the strength and endurance, to kind of level out the playing field. And Superman shows up, and he confronts him, and they get into a fight, and Superman actually breaks his back. He doesn't want to kill him, but he breaks his back. I mean, it's a bad break. Alfred comes down the stairs to see Superman walking out, and Superman at this point has not went full into this tyrannical, insane psychopath which he turns into by the 3rd year. He has not turned into that yet. He still has a shred of decency. And he looks at Alfred, and Alfred looks back at him, and then Alfred says, Master Kent. He looks over again. He grabs him by the shoulders and just headbutts the fuck out of him. I mean, because they had given Alfred one of like the 3 pills they were able to grab to synthesize, to analyze, so that he could protect himself. And he did just that. He hits him and he breaks his fucking nose. He breaks Superman's nose. That's how strong these pills are. So, Alfred has been a badass. It's been pretty cool seeing Alfred, talk shit. And he hasn't been around the entire time. He's disappeared a little bit the last few years. But Batman has been recovering. It took him like almost the entire 2nd year to recover. because, you know, you had the war with the Green Lantern Corps, which they showed up, and God, man, Squirrel, Kilowog, Chip are all dead. All of them. The entire Green Lantern Corps. They stood up, they almost won, and they were wiped out by Superman as the Yellow Lantern and Sinestro, the Yellow Lantern Corps. But also in the battle, the Yellow Lantern Corps was also destroyed. I'm telling you, this series is really good. If you are a DC fan, it's just, I don't know, I'm starting to lean towards DC a little bit more, and I'm really enjoying this comic book series. You know, it's pretty good, 1 through 3. If it continues like this, hopefully we'll get a perfect 10 as well. But I'm going to have to give 1 through 3 a 10. Nothing but. Or, you know, I think we do the 1 out of 5. So we're going to give it a 5. Perfect 5. It's worth paying for. The story is there, but there's not too much text to where it overloads you. The drawing and the art is fabulous. It's just a great series. It is a really great series, and if you're wanting to start somewhere in the universe, it may not be that place to start for you. If you're a novice into comic books in general, it may not be the place for you to start, but I would definitely get to that point, and after you recognize yourself, the characters, because even me, I'm a novice, you know. I'm not so fucking new that I don't know any of the characters, but I'm not so into this and have been into this for years that I know every character. Yeah, and there's a lot who show up in this I've never heard of. You know, the Spectre, one of them, never heard of him. The Black Racer, once again, another one I've never heard of. But what was really cool, one guy I didn't expect, 2 guys actually I didn't expect to make an appearance in the series, and that's because I've never seen them in a same comic book with the likes of Batman and Superman. And Jay, how is this a blatant ripoff? Anyways, was Constantine, John Constantine. I was insane. I mean, we all know the movie that came out with Keanu Reeves, which, you know, I've read a little bit of Constantine, and yes, they're way the fuck off. Nothing wrong with the movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It just wasn't the same Constantine. It's a you know, it's like a just 100% American version. But you know, Constantine, yeah, awesome, dude. Good seeing him in a comic book like this, of this size. Actually, I will give you guys one spoiler. At the end of year 3, he's gone. The end of year 3. So he shows up, you know, in one of the years between 1 and 3, and he's there for that little bit of time, and then he is gone. At least as far as I know, he just left. And it was really cool seeing him in the same series of Batman. Him and Batman work together, you know, to fight Superman and this tyrannical government, in which he says is for peace. He believes this is all for the greater good. He's not giving people the choice to choose on their own whether they want to be good or bad. It's just a blatant, it's just destruction, and it's just been a great series. 1 through 3 gets a perfect 5. Gets 5 kicks to the bollocks. 100%. But yeah, that has been the comic book report for this week. Next Wednesday, I will not be able to come on because of work and shit like that. So we're going to try and get a replay or something like that. But the Wednesday after, for sure, we will have me and possibly a co-host for the Nerd Central HQ, where we will probably talk about the rest of this, if I don't already, you know, if I don't finish the next 3 years. That's what they call them, I guess they're like seasons, you know, next 3 years. Before then, and review it. I'll probably still talk about it, you know, or talk about whatever comic books I'm reading, or, you know, Suicide Squad, possibly. We're hoping to see Suicide Squad by the next Nerd Central HQ. But thanks, guys, for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with me. It was really cool. I had a great time hanging out. Yeah, once again, Injustice Among Us, Injustice Gods Among Us, the first 3 years out of 5. It's not 3 more, it's 2 more. First 3 years out of 5 has been really good. So I'd have to give it, you know, a perfect 5. I mean, it's just been great. Oh my God, Jason. I know that. I think they're referencing that. Jason says, "Oh look, Superman broke Batman's back, just like Bane." Yeah, okay, we get it. Bane broke his back too. But, anyways, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. We've got to see, tomorrow is Saturday night, so I think Dino Mac's going to be on live. Sunday we don't have anything coming out. Monday we got Magic. We got Metal Mike. Tuesday we got DJ Hans. Wednesday is either going to be a replay or something like that. And Tuesday night we might have me and Sean for WWE Talk, hopefully. But yeah, keep it locked in here on Exit 92. You ain't got to go home, but you can't stay in this general facility. But hey, remember, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The replays, you know, the archives are always playing. If you want to check out the rest of my comic book reports, they're all here on the Nerd Central HQ channel. Just keep it locked here. But have a good night, everyone. It's 10:53 Eastern Standard Time, and I'm clocking out. Peace.